Okay, hey YouTube, this is Cliff again. Looks like I'm getting set up here for this large batch of hunting knives that came in. Local hunters, they take whatever they've got. This is for after the hunt, when they're back at their camp or their house, garage. They use whatever they've got available to process the meat. Kitchen knives, got a nice thin profile. Those work really good for them. Some of these I've never seen before, so it looks like we got a whole bunch of new stuff coming in. What's nice is once you've seen it once or twice, you've used the angle guide to set the angle, then it's very quick to redo it. Since a lot of these I've never sharpened before, I'm going to go with a more aggressive belt. Another reason to use the aggressive belt is a lot of their field knives will have large dings and chips in them. So the 80 grit or 50 grit, even though it's quite aggressive, it will set the profile correctly for the angle I want to get, and also remove any of the large dings without having to spend 15 to 20 minutes per knife if I was to use a 120 grit, something like that. I did notice this one here. This one's nice, very nice. We'll go ahead and make a tip repair video about this one and show how we can bring this thing and save it. It's got quite a chunk missing, about the size of my thumb. So I'm going to go ahead and get set up, zoom in. I'm going to try doing a zoom in on the section that we're sharpening. Maybe I'll run a couple first and then zoom in. I'm not going to show every one of them doing all the way through, but hopefully you guys will get an idea of the flow pattern. And again, I am starting with, I think it's an 80 grit. That's to remove the chips, the burrs, and set the bevel. I am at 17 degrees. Okay, let me get set up and we'll start this out. What I'm doing right here is I'm looking down the edge of the blade, and any spot that glints back or reflects light is a spot that's got a damage or a ding in it. There's just one little bit there, but it'll come out. So double check this blade. Yeah, it's fine. When you look down the edge of the blade, some of these I don't think have been in heavy use yet by the guys. Okay, that one's good to go. This one actually has a tip that's damaged. Now, again, my belt's going down, so what I'm going to do real quick is I'm just going to take just get that little edge started to come back down to a point, and cool it off a little bit as I go. I got a little bucket of water right down there, especially on a point. Right there, I've already rounded it off and we got our point back. knife is apexed. I'm going to try and zoom in so you can see that. So what you're looking for is a reflection or a glint of light that changes as you go along the blade. That little edge glint, you should be able to see it come or go, and that means that the knife bevels have met and they're apexing in the middle. Hopefully that shows up on camera. Anything more than that, and then you're just removing excess metal. I'm going to go ahead and continue this process with the remaining 20 some knives here, and then I'll be back when I finish at that point. Or I could just film it and we could do it at high speed. Let's try that. I'll just keep filming. was fun. Well, that's the first step right there. Let me zoom this back out. Hopefully you got to see a little bit of that burr getting knocked off, or where you can tell when you're done. Okay, I'm not sure how long that took in fast forward mode, but real time was about 10 minutes. And that's a huge number of knives. I can't even count. I would guess somewhere close to 20 plus knives. That's the first step. That's 80 grit. That makes sure every knife is apexed. It removes any chips or damage. Everybody's at the same angle, and if you see that burr getting removed or showing up, changing as I move it along the angle guide, that's when you know you're apexed, and you can stop. You don't need to remove any more metal, and that's what I've done. So all the knives have been rough ground, profiled into shape, and I'm just going to go ahead. I'm going to do a 3-step process. I'm going to take it to 120, go over every knife at 120, then I'm going to go over every knife at 320, and then every knife at 600. And I'll do a little montage, or try to do a montage of that right now. Okay, super high speed, 120 grit, 20 knives. And this one I'm going to make sure to spend a little bit of time to make sure I get out any 80 grit rough marks. This is where you basically finalize the bevels, make sure they're flat, make sure everybody's happy, and then the last 2 steps, just clean and buff it up and get it ready to put the final deburr on. Okay, here we go. Super speed, hopefully. Okay, a piece of cake. Just ran through, did all the knives at 120 grit. Hopefully you were able to see some of the apex formation, the burr formation. I'm going